They call me the king of pies, but I call him the king of steroids. Who knows? If you are that big and that muscly, there's something wrong. I have heard word. I have looked at him and I have seen. He has been very close with Klitschko's. He has been a reigning champion for a long time. So I don't know. It may be true, maybe not. I don't know how he will respond. He may be angry or upset at what we have been saying. It's part of the game. I am not accusing him of using steroids, but I am saying it is a possibility. There are lots of ways you can dodge drug testing. Those are the words of WBO World Heavyweight Champion Joseph Parker, speaking shortly after the announcement of his unification showdown with WBA and IBF Heavyweight World Champion Anthony Joshua, which will be taking place on March 31st at the Principality Stadium, Cardiff, Wales, United Kingdom. Now, Joseph Parker's promoter, David Higgins, has responded to what Joseph Parker has said here. Journalists told him what his fighter said, and Higgins normally is the guy who does most of the trash talk in the Parker team, not really Parker himself. But Higgins is actually suggesting Parker should tone it down, at least when it comes to accusations or suggestions that Joshua may be on performance-enhancing drugs. So I'm going to quote David Higgins directly here. He was talking to Radio Sport. He said, "It wasn't my idea, and that just came across my desk, but some people say that. I don't think Anthony Joshua does steroids. I think he trains very hard to the point of boring. I don't know why Parker said it. The advice for myself will be to drop it and stick to things we know." Now, some people, those are the words of David Higgins. Now, some people are going to say, well, you can't really listen too much to what Higgins said. He probably put Joseph Parker up to it. They want to unsettle Anthony Joshua, and at the same time, they want to build hype for the fight. So they're going to say whatever they can say about him. They're going to say that he's chinny. They're going to say that he's slow, that he's muscle bound, suggest that he may be on performance enhancing substances. Some people are going to say that it's all part of the Parker team ploy and acting as though they're not all in cahoots with everything that is said is just nonsense, really. This is what some people are going to say. I'm not saying that necessarily, but that's what some people are going to suggest. Now, this ain't the first time that somebody has claimed Anthony Joshua may be on some type of substance because of the size of him, because he's so ripped, because he's put on so much muscle in what some people deem to be a short space of time. So I can't imagine it will bother Joshua too much. But at the same time, you have to ask the question, is this more for promotional purposes to sell pay-per-views for the Parker team? Or is it more of a psychological game they're playing here? And if it is more of a psychological game they're playing, does that reveal that they are concerned about whether they can win the fight? If they need to use, if they feel the need to use all these psychological tactics, are they really that confident? If you're 100% sure of yourself, do you really need to talk any trash? Do you really need to try and unsettle your opponent? Some people are going to say yes, because at the top level in boxing, every little advantage helps. But other people are going to say it's a sign of weakness on Joseph Parker's side. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Is Anthony Joshua on performance enhancing substances? Will it even matter in the fight? Will Joseph Parker be able to prevail regardless? Because we know what Joshua is. We know what he has, at least what he's shown so far. And whether he's clean or not, he's still shown vulnerability. So he's not invincible if he were to be on something. And I certainly am not saying that he is. I don't know. But if he were, he's still not invincible. He's still got chinks in the armor there. There are still things that Joseph Parker can take advantage of in the ring. So, yeah, I look forward to the build up and see, in seeing how much bad blood builds up between them. There seems to be a mutual respect, at least between the promoters, Eddie Hearn and Parker's promoter. His name has just escaped me for a second. David Higgins, sorry. They seem to have a mutual working respect. Eddie Hearn said on Sky that he looks forward to having a drink with Joseph Parker's promoter, David Higgins, after the fight. So there's a mutual respect there. They said they've enjoyed working with each other. But the fighters, you have to imagine tension is going to build up the closer we get to the fight between Joseph Parker and Anthony Joshua. I can't really imagine, you know, Joseph Parker comes across as a fairly mild-mannered character. But I do remember when there was that clip of him and his trainer watching the Anthony Joshua Klitschko fight. And I remember Joseph Parker being horrified that Joshua won, and he was cheering on Klitschko if you watch the clip of that fight. Him and his trainer Kevin Barry. So I don't think he necessarily likes Joshua. Maybe it's just the competitive spirit. I don't know if there's any issue in terms of a clash of personalities, because both guys seem like fairly, at least in public, you know, you don't know what they're like behind the scenes and in real life, but at least on camera, both guys seem like fairly politically correct type characters. You know, they don't really say too many controversial things most of the time, and they don't really take to bad-mouthing people too much. So with two guys like that, you can't imagine there would be that much needle. But as I say, it's a big fight, it's a unification, and Joseph Parker has broken his character. I don't know whether he's been put up to it, or whether he's acting out of character, or whether this has always been him and we're seeing more of the real Joseph Parker. I don't know. But he is coming out and saying things about Anthony Joshua which he doesn't normally say about opponents. You know, he's talking in a way which he doesn't normally talk. So again, that could be another psychological thing that people could look at and say, well, is Joseph Parker acting out of character? And you know, if you have been a long-time subscriber of mine, that I believe that when a fighter is acting out of character, alarm bells should start going off in your head, that this guy is not where he needs to be mentally to give himself the best chance to win any particular fight. When he's acting out of character. Tyson Fury, for example, is a trash talker. And if, you know, going into the Klitschko fight, for example, Tyson Fury was talking loads of trash, and you had all these people saying, oh, Fury's scared, that's why he's talking trash. No, he wasn't. He always talks trash. You know, he wore the Batman costume for Klitschko and all that kind of stuff. That's normal Fury. So if he's behaving like that, then that's a good sign for Tyson Fury. That means he's in his comfort zone. If he wasn't behaving like that, and if all of a sudden the antics had disappeared, then you could say, well, there's something to be worried about. So yeah, I'm a believer that when a fighter is acting out of character, there could be something wrong potentially, or there's more of a chance that he's not in the right place mentally. So anyway, let me know how you feel about the quotes in this video and the questions raised by Joseph Parker, the relationship between Parker and David Higgins, and how you see the fight going, and the psychological aspect at play here. Is Parker rattled? Is Joshua rattled? You know, Team Parker seem to think Joshua's rattled, but again, it could be a case of projecting, as I've explained. So let me know how you feel in the comment section, people. It's happening. I'm out.